Inflation. So inflation is basically when prices just keep going up over time, you know? It means your money doesn't go as far as it used to. Like, you can't buy as much stuff with it anymore. It happens when everyone's buying a lot of things, or there's not enough stuff to go around, or maybe when it's just really easy to borrow money. A little bit of inflation? That's pretty normal actually. But too much of it? Yeah, that really hurts families and businesses. Deflation. Okay, so deflation is the opposite. Prices are falling over time. Your money actually buys more than it did before. Usually happens when people don't spend much, and businesses have to cut their prices just to stay afloat. A little deflation sounds great, right? But too much can actually freeze up the whole economy. People just keep waiting to buy stuff because they think it'll be cheaper later. CPI, Consumer Price Index. CPI basically measures how much your everyday stuff costs over time. It tracks things like food, rent, clothes, how much you spend on getting around. When CPI goes up, well, the cost of living goes up too. When it drops, things get cheaper. Like, if milk and eggs and your rent all go up together, yeah, CPI is going to move higher. PCE, Personal Consumption Expenditures. PCE is kind of like CPI, but it actually covers more stuff, and it adjusts for changes in what people are actually buying. The Fed likes PCE better because it gives them a wider picture of what people are spending on. So like, if beef gets really expensive and everyone switches to chicken instead, PCE picks up on that shift. GDP, Gross Domestic Product. GDP is basically the total value of everything a country makes in a year, all the goods and services. It shows you how big the economy is. When GDP goes up, the economy's growing. When it falls, well, that means people and businesses are spending less. Like if the US makes more cars, phones, and services than last year, GDP goes up. Trade deficit. A trade deficit happens when a country buys more stuff from other countries than it sells to them. So basically money's flowing out more than it's coming in. Like the US buys tons of goods from Asia, which leads to a trade deficit. Trade surplus. Okay, so a trade surplus basically happens when a country sells more stuff to other countries than it buys from them, you know? More money's coming in than going out. And when you have a surplus, it can actually make that country's currency stronger, which is pretty interesting. I mean, it also shows that there's like strong demand for whatever that country's making. If a country sells a ton of cars overseas but doesn't really import that much stuff back, well, that's a trade surplus right there. Exchange rate. An exchange rate just shows how much one currency's worth compared to another one. If your currency's strong, you can buy more foreign stuff. If it's weak, well, you're buying less. The rates change based on trade, interest rates, money flowing around, all that stuff. So like if one US dollar buys 7 Chinese yuan, that's the exchange rate. Tariffs. Tariffs are basically taxes on stuff coming from other countries. They make foreign products more expensive. Governments use them to, protect local businesses or hit back at unfair trade. Like if there's a tariff on steel, imported steel's gonna cost more. Unemployment rate. The unemployment rate shows how many people want to work but just can't find a job. Low unemployment means lots of hiring going on. High unemployment means, well, not so much. Like during a recession, tons of people lose their jobs and the rate just climbs. Non-farm payrolls. Non-farm payrolls shows how many jobs got added or lost each month. It doesn't include farms, private homes, nonprofits, that kind of thing. A strong report means companies are hiring. A weak one means things are slowing down. So if the report shows like plus 250,000 jobs, businesses hired a bunch of workers that month. ISM, Institute for Supply Management, Index. The ISM Index tracks what factories and service companies are doing. If it's above 50, that means growth. Below 50, things are declining. It basically shows if businesses are buying more materials or cutting back. Like if ISM drops to 48, factories might start slowing down production. Leading indicators. Leading indicators are things that predict what the economy is going to do in the future. They include stuff like building permits, stock prices, new orders for things. They kind of warn us before the economy goes up or down. So like if building permits keep falling for months, home demand might drop soon. Yield curve. Inverted yield curve. A yield curve shows you short-term and long-term bond rates. Normally, long-term rates are higher, right? But an inverted curve, that's when short-term rates are actually higher. And that usually signals there's a recession coming. Like when 2-year bonds pay more than 10-year bonds, yeah, the curve's inverted. Recession. A recession happens when the economy shrinks for a few months. People lose jobs and spend way less. Businesses make fewer things. Like during those 2020 lockdowns, so many shops closed and the economy just slowed down. Stagflation. Stagflation is when prices are going up, but the economy's slowing down at the same time. People are earning less, but everything costs more. It's really hard to fix because raising or cutting rates, both options hurt in different ways. Like in the 1970s, the US had high prices and weak growth happening at the same time. Depression. A depression is basically a really severe recession that goes on for years. Jobs stay low, and spending stays weak for a long time. It's pretty rare these days, though. The Great Depression back in the 1930s? That lasted almost a decade. Federal Reserve, the Fed. The Fed is basically the US central bank. They control money, credit, interest rates, all that stuff. Their goal is to keep prices stable and jobs strong. So like when the Fed raises rates, your credit cards and mortgages get more expensive. FOMC, Federal Open Market Committee. The FOMC is the Fed's team that decides on rates. They meet up to decide if rates should go up, down, or just stay where they are. You'll hear news reports say stuff like, the FOMC raised rates today. Interest rates, federal funds rate. Interest rates basically show how expensive it is to borrow money. The federal funds rate guides all the other rates out there. Higher rates slow down spending. Lower rates boost it up, like car loans and home loans go up when the Fed raises rates. Basis points, BPS. Basis points are used for those small rate changes, you know? 1 basis point is like 0.01%. 100 basis points equals 1%. So like a 25 basis point rate hike, that's a 0.25% increase. Quantitative easing, QE is when the Fed buys bonds to push more money into the system. Loan costs go down and spending goes up. They use it to help the economy during rough times. The Fed used QE after 2008 to help things recover. Quantitative tightening, QT. QT is basically the opposite of QE. The Fed sells bonds or just lets them expire. Money leaves the system and rates go up. When the Fed does quantitative tightening, mortgages usually get more expensive. Hawkish. Hawkish means someone's in favor of higher interest rates to fight inflation. A hawkish stance cares more about stopping those price increases, even if it slows down growth. Like if the Fed's worried about rising prices, they get hawkish. Dovish. Dovish means preferring lower interest rates to support jobs and growth. A dovish stance cares more about helping workers and boosting spending, so if the Fed's worried about people losing jobs, they become dovish. Soft landing. A soft landing means inflation comes down without causing a recession. Jobs stay strong and spending holds up pretty well. Like if prices cool off and unemployment stays low, that's a soft landing. Hard landing. A hard landing means inflation falls, but the economy just crashes. Jobs drop fast, and spending gets really weak. So if prices fall because people are losing jobs and stop spending, yeah, that's a hard landing. Fiscal policy. Fiscal policy is basically government spending and taxes. It can speed up or slow down the economy. Those stimulus checks during COVID, that was fiscal policy. Monetary policy. Monetary policy is what the Federal Reserve does with money and interest rates. It affects loans, saving, spending, all of it. Like when they cut interest rates. That's monetary policy. National debt versus deficit. National debt is the total amount of money the government owes. A deficit happens when they spend more in a year than they bring in. A surplus is the opposite. So if the government spends more this year than it collects, that's a deficit. Debt ceiling. The debt ceiling is basically a limit on how much the government can borrow. Congress has to vote to raise it. If they don't raise it, well, the government might miss payments. You see debates about raising the debt ceiling on the news all the time. Sovereign debt. Sovereign debt is money a country owes to whoever lent it to them. Could be investors, banks, other countries. Too much debt can get you in real trouble if you can't pay it back. Like when Greece was struggling to pay its debt back in 2010, they needed Europe to help them out. If you like this video, subscribe for more. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next one.